Welcome to RTF Great Debate, guys. We have a great show for you lined up tonight. We have three special guests. First, we're going to welcome from Strikeout Beer, Mr. Allen, 5'5", types 27 words per minute. What is up, Allen?
What's going on? Thanks for having me on. Be sure to check out Strikeout Beer Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central Time.
And starting at the bottom right, we have Action Jackson, baby daddy, over there.
Welcome, everyone, to the show. I'm Action Jackson. I have a show starting soon. Thanks for joining us.
And on the bottom left here, from Infinity Sports, 7'2", 275 pounds, types 10 words per minute, chicken pecking, Sully Sullivan. What is up, man?
Hey, how we doing, boys? How we doing? Don't forget to check out Infinity Sports, Wednesdays, 11 a.m.
And, of course, we have to welcome the co-host into the show from the 2B Blunt podcast, Hazy.
That's right, goddammit. We are live here, the Great Debate. Are you ready?
Hazy, we are definitely ready, brother.
Welcome.
About time you showed up.
The inaugural.
Shut up. Listen, you know what? I had to handle these two fucking feisty-ass dogs. Now here I am. I'm ready to go. I'm locked in. I got the Trulies loaded, baby. I got the lemonades, the pink lemonades, the mango lemonades, the regular lemonades. It's going down tonight. We're debating.
So, guys, this is the inaugural show of the Great Debate on RTF Sports Network. If you guys would like to listen to this, we're going to re-air this Monday morning, 8 a.m. on RTFSportsNetwork.com. But this, guys, these are everybody's show from RTF at some point, and like in the other. We have Alan from Strikeout Beer, Sully from Infinity Sports, and Action Jackson writing blogs over there with us. So, Sal, do you have any words of advice for them before we get carried into the first debate topic of the night?
Is advice really needed? I mean, you guys know the rules. Keep it clean. Keep it safe. And it's time.
And the first debate question of the night, guys, we're going to give you 3 minutes on the clock to tell me who is your top 5 quarterback in the NFL today. And as we discussed pre-show, Alan, you get the floor first.
All right, so let's get this party started. So when I first saw the question, it's like top 5 quarterbacks. I was thinking like for this next football season. So that's what I'm kind of basing mine off of. Right off the top, I got the man, Lamar Jackson. That dude he's going into his 3rd season in the NFL. He amassed, let's get these numbers out here for you guys. He had 1,000 yards rushing, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 3,100 yards passing. He had a QBR of 113 this last year. And for all those who said he just likes to dink and dunk the ball, he averaged 7.8 yards per pass. He's got Mark Andrews he's going to have back there for the tight end. You got Hollywood. They're expecting a lot of big things out of Miles Boykin. And, heck, if Willie Snead's healthy, that's just going to be someone extra for him to toss that ball to. Coming in at number 2, your MVP, Pat Mahomes. I mean, what else can you say about the guy? 4,000 yards this last year, 105 QBR, 26 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He averaged just a little bit more yards per catch with 8.3 yards. He's got everybody back. He's bringing everybody back this next year. You ain't going to see any drop in his game. Number 3 for this next year, I'm taking to someone who's had some good years in the past, but he's been fighting off the injuries for the last few years. He's coming back this year fully healthy. Give me Matt Stafford. You've got Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones. You've got Danny Amendola. You signed Geronimo Allison. TJ Hawkinson's coming back healthy. You draft DeAndre Swift. Plus, you got Kerryon Johnson. He has nothing but offensive weapons all around him. He's fully healthy. Look for him to have a huge year this last year. He only played in 8 games this last year and threw for almost 2,500 yards. It's 2,499, so a yard short. So he was on pace for a 5,000-yard season this last year. He's going to get that 5,000 yards this year. He clips it. He's going to have a great year. Number 4, I'm coming at you with another young quarterback, Josh Allen. He's entering into came in his 3rd year in the league. They add Stephon Diggs to that team. You bring John Brown back over. You still got Cole Beasley there. Dawson Knox at tight end. Don't sleep on him. Josh Allen's done nothing but get better every single year. He got you 3,000 yards this last year passing, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Look for him to have a big breakout year this year, especially with the Patriots coming down. Number 4, I'm going to give you an oldie but a goodie. I got Drew Brees there. Drew Brees, hey, almost 3,000 yards this last year, 116 QBR. He's got Michael Thomas. They added Emmanuel Sanders to the team. You still got Traquan Smith, Alvin Kamara back there. You can't go wrong. You can't. And I'm going to give you just one little extra one right here. The dark horse, Tom Brady. That guy's never had more offensive weapons in his career. Look for big things from him this year. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Gronk, O.J. Howard, plus you got Ronald Jones there. If he's in that top 5, I won't be surprised at all.
Before we move to Action Jackson, 3 flaws on this thing. You have Lamar Jackson. No, Lamar Jackson, number 1. You can't have a trash quarterback. No, number 1.
Trash quarterback, come on.
And almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grades. You can almost have 5,000 yards all you want, but it doesn't matter. Action Jackson, your top 5.
My top 5 starts with Pat Mahomes. I mean, what can you say? Like, he's just the best in the league right now. Followed by a close second by Russell Wilson. That dude keeps Seattle in it year in and year out. Nothing's going to change that. And then, like he said, Tom Brady's got more weapons than he knows what to do with. So I think he's going to have a great year. And then I got Drew Brees after that. I think, with Emmanuel Sanders, Kirk, Thomas, they're going to have a great season. And then I think Aaron Rodgers is going to he's going to show up and he's going to show out because he's mad at the Packers for drafting his replacement.
Who is your number 4?
Drew Brees.
So you have a noodle arm and 2 overrated quarterbacks in your top 5. Congratulations, Sully. You have a chance to straighten these boys out.
I mean, I think number 1's plain and simple. I mean, it's got to be Patty Mahomes. The guy's the best thing walking on the planet right now. He can do no wrong. Number 2 is Russell Wilson. I don't know how it isn't. I don't know how you don't have him on your list, Alan. That's crazy. I mean, the guy's a god. Number 3, I got that bad man, Aaron Rodgers. If you listen to the show Infinity Sports, I think he's going to win the MVP this year. I think that man's out to cause havoc, so I got him at 3. Number 4, I got Deshaun Watson, man. I don't know how we're forgetting about this kid. The guy is just talent galore. I don't care if he lost DeAndre Hopkins. Deshaun Watson is that dude. And then at number 5, I got Tom Brady, man. He is what he is. He's the baddest man on the planet. He's going to win another Super Bowl. You know what I mean? He's going to throw for 4,500 yards. He's going to throw for 40 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it is what it is.
He's also going to be the first quarterback to play a home game in the Super Bowl and win a home game.
Win it, exactly. Let's get it, boys.
Tom Brady will be the first quarterback to throw another 50 interceptions this season, following Jameis Winston for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Hater, Mike.
Such a hater.
It's just the facts, guys. When you dink and dunk for 5 or 10 yards, I mean, you can have all the weapons you want. Yeah, that doesn't make you a top 5 quarterback whatsoever.
He's had the dink and dunk because he has no deep threat. Look what he did in 2007 with Moss.
Dunk.
The dink and dunk. Well, he can't throw the ball over 15 yards accurately, much like Lamar Jackson.
I mean, look what he did with Moss. That's the only time he's had a good receiver.
So, Sully and Jackson here. Alan has Lamar Jackson number 1. You guys don't even have him on your list. I'm giving you guys the open floor here to ridicule him of why he has Lamar Jackson number 1.
Madden curse.
I mean, the Madden curse is pretty debunked, I think, at this point. I think the last 3 or 4 have kind of debunked that.
What do you mean, Antonio Brown?
The year after he was on it, he had 1,500 yards or something like that. So it wasn't like he had a bad season. Yes, the following year he went to trouble, but it's not like that year after. Lamar Jackson shouldn't be on there yet. I mean, I'm not a big Lamar Jackson fan, never have been. I don't think he has the accuracy. You talk about yards per game and 200, or what you mentioned, our yards per completion at 7.8. Well, that ranks 12th, so it's not like it's a good stat for you or anything. Yards per game, he's got 208, which ranks, I'm pretty sure, it ranks fourth from last. So, I mean, he's just not a great quarterback. I think he's a system quarterback. We'll see what he does, though. He can obviously prove me wrong, but it's 1 year, so let's see what the kid's done.
Plus, it's pretty easy to throw to wide open wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, and he's going to have those open receivers. He's got that strong run game. You can't just when you're talking about a quarterback, you got to talk the total package, right? You can't just talk the throwing. You got to talk about the rushing yards. Over 1,000 yards rushing this last year, and he did that all while not taking those big hits. That's why he's succeeding where someone like RG3 didn't succeed. RG3 didn't know when to go out of bounds. He didn't know when to go down. Lamar Jackson does know when to do that. He knows when to go down. He knows when to get out of bounds. He knows how to avoid those big hits. Plus, you got Mark Ingram back there running for them again. I mean, all the offensive weapons are there. Expect them to be the number 1 seed over there again this year, and just run with it.
If they
let me intervene here, guys.
If they get Antonio Brown, that offense is going to be legit.
If you get Antonio Brown, I'm worried about the team now because now you're bringing a cancer onto the team.
So let me lay some knowledge on you guys here about Lamar Jackson. He is great from September to December. When's the last time he won a game in January? Never has won a game in January. Not in college, not in the professional ranks. Point Michael Buckheiser, Soley, and Action Jackson there. We will move on. Next up, the blueprint has been stopped.
Wait. I can't just jump past this real quick. Alan, how do you not have Russell Wilson on your top 5 at all?
That ceiling's going to come down soon. It is.
I heard about this whole thing.
It's just not going to. I mean,
the guy does is produce. All he does is produce. He's done nothing but in an efficient way too. That's all he does. So if you talk about the total package too, he gives you that. I don't know what you dislike about it.
Hey, you can't deny what Russell Wilson does. I just don't see it this year.
All right.
That's you look at how he's skated by and how he's got through with things. He gets into so much trouble there in Seattle, and he gets out by the hair of his chinny chin chin. But he's running out of hair. He's running out of hair. He's getting older. He's getting longer in tooth. He's the hits that guy took last year. He took some hits.
Oh, fun fact!
And those are all going to add up.
You know who took more hits than Russell Wilson last year? Lamar Jackson.
Do you know why he took more hits than Russell Wilson than last year? Because he's a running back.
Exactly.
He isn't a quarterback at the end of the day.
He's eventually going to fail. You can't run that many times.
Okay. We'll see this year.
Yeah, so we have a special guest here, Frank Knox from the To Be Blunt podcast, coming in late.
I brought in my backup. I brought in my sports analyst, my specialist to debate with you guys, Frank Knox.
So, Frank, do you have a top 5 quarterback list in the NFL today?
Yes, I do.
Well, let's have it.
Are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So my top 5 in no specific order goes like this.
No. It's top 5. So number 1.
All right. Well, number 1 is going to be Patrick Mahomes.
Everyone loves Patrick Mahomes.
Everybody but Allen.
I had him number 2. There's nothing wrong with being number 2.
My number 2 quarterback, Buckers are going to like, but that's going to be Lamar Jackson.
Ugh.
There we go.
My number 3 quarterback is going to be Aaron Rodgers.
Nice.
My number 4 quarterback is going to be Drew Brees. And I don't think anyone should make a top 5 quarterback list without including Tom Brady because all the man does is win.
So everybody has Brady on his list except for Allen. Allen, you seem to be the outlier in everything in this.
He's my dark horse.
Yeah, he's a dark horse at number 6. I could see that. Okay, we'll let that slide. But how about Matt Stafford? Do you guys agree Matt Stafford is a top 5 quarterback at all?
No,
not even top 15 in my book.
Oh God,
I would put him about 13.
I'd put him at probably around like 8 or 9. I think.
Between 8 and 13.
Matt Stafford could be a top 5 quarterback if he had an actual team around him.
Watch out this year. Watch out this year.
He did make some good points about Matt Stafford. I will give. I got to see it, but we are doing a predictive one here. He said 2020, so I'll give him that. But and Matt Stafford, I actually like his team this year, and if he comes back healthy, I love the guy. I think he's one of the most underrated players of our generation.
Isn't he in a contract year? I think his contract's up after the year.
No, he just signed a big contract a few years back. Like 3 years back, he just signed a new one.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on here. So just to incorporate here, I am judging off of what everybody said here. Patrick Mahomes is going to be number 1. It looks like Russell Wilson's probably number 2. Aaron Rodgers would sneak in at number 3, and then you have a tie between Brady and Breeze at 4 and 5. So that's kind of what you guys collectively agreed on here, except for Matt Stafford. And forgot about Josh Allen.
Yeah, don't sleep on Josh Allen this year. I'm telling you, that guy is going to have a big year.
Reach.
It ain't a reach. It's going to happen.
I mean,
I could see Josh Allen having a breakout year now that he's got.
I mean, there's a bunch of
solidified number 1 with Stephon Diggs to throw the rock to.
I mean, I could see Kyler Murray breaking out. I could see a lot of guys breaking out. I just don't think they're going to do better than the other 5 we mentioned.
I don't think Diggs lives up to expectation. I think without Adam Thielen, he's going to look different.
Don't sleep on John Brown either. John Brown he's a ball player. That guy knows how to catch the ball. He knows how to work the middle of that field. He's great in the slot. Plus, you can't.
His speed is unbelievable.
Cole Beasley is a number 3 receiver. That's where he thrives. When there's 2 other guys ahead of him, he was at his best here in Dallas when there was 2 other.
I have a question. Who does everyone think has the best top 3 receivers? Like a group of 3 receivers. Which team has the best 3?
That's no question. It's Kansas City.
I think the Falcons have, in my opinion, the number 1 receiving core with Ridley and Julio Jones.
I mean, if it's only 2, it's Tampa, and it's not even a question. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are hands down the 2 best. I mean, they're arguably 2 top 7 wide receivers, both of them. So I don't. The third one, though, if you want to throw Gronk as our third, then we're the best there. But I don't know about strictly receivers. Maybe Dallas. I'm a big CeeDee Lamb fan.
Yeah, he's a rookie though, so how much is he really going to do in his first year there?
I agree, but I mean, teams with 3 receivers is tough to find. I think like 3 bona fide players. So, yeah.
Look at Arizona this year. You had DeAndre Hopkins. You still got Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, he's long in the tooth, but now he's not number 1 there. DeAndre is number 1. Christian Kirk's number 3. Yeah.
Carolina is probably they should be pretty good too. Those 3.
That's a false statement. But let's go ahead and
man. What world are you living on that the Panthers even have?
No, with Robbie, their top 3 receivers are pretty good.
They are pretty good. I didn't know we were doing the best pretty good wide receivers.
Well,
I thought we were doing the best wide receivers.
I didn't mean they were the best. I'm not trying to say they were the best. I just thought they were pretty good.
Who's their top receivers after Christian McCaffrey?
Oh, it's DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel. They actually are really talented.
Yeah, it's Curtis Samuel.
But I don't think they're
and then they got Robbie Anderson too.
Meh.
They're not even the best receiving core in their division, let alone in the league.
True statement.
True.
I'll take.
Well, I wasn't trying to say they were the best in the league. I was just saying they were pretty good.
Mike, let's take it to the next topic, bro.
All right, so guys, we have talked about the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL today, but let's go ahead and talk about the top 3 quarterbacks of all time. Alan, you get the floor first, my man.
This was real easy for me. I mean, you got your man Brady, number 1. What more can you say, right? 219 wins. I think the next closest is like 180 wins, something like that. 6 Super Bowls. Yeah, he lost 2, but he's been to 8, right? 9. Yeah, 9. Sorry, 9. They lost 3. Forgot about the Philly one. But yeah, he's been to 9 Super Bowls. Number 2, Joe Montana. I mean, the guy completely reinvented the quarterback position back then. 4 Super Bowl appearances, 4 Super Bowl wins. What more can you say about him? And then at number 3, I'm bringing in Drew Brees just because the guy is just a he hasn't amassed the wins and the playoff victories. He's got the one Super Bowl win. But just his overall career, I mean, when he came to New Orleans, everybody wrote him off. He was done for. He had that shoulder surgery. Nobody thought he was going to do anything again, and he came out and he's having one of the best careers for a regular season quarterback ever. He's had a few playoff games where he got robbed, go back a couple years ago with the pass interference, but that right there is my top three: Brady, Montana, Breeze.
You cannot be being robbed into your top three discussion. One play should not make or break your career. But Action Jackson, top three.
My top three is Tom Brady is number one, obviously, and then I got Joe Montana number two and Peyton Manning number three.
Stoli.
I mean, when you said top three, I was like, well, I don't think there's much of a debate here. Action Jackson got it right. Should go 1, 2, 3 up the board across this whole thing. It should be Brady, Montana, Peyton. I don't think there's really much of a debate. Drew Brees shouldn't be in the same conversation with Peyton Manning.
Frank Knox.
Oh man, this is tough. You guys are gonna kill me. You guys are gonna kill me for this, but I gotta put my number 3 to Dan Marino. I gotta give number 2 to Peyton Manning and number 1 to Tom Brady.
Dan Marino.
Ouch.
Dan Marino.
Win me a
Dan
game,
Marino.
bro.
Explain why Dan Marino is in the top 3.
Why he isn't?
No, why he is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, I can't explain that.
I mean, besides not winning a Super Bowl, he did everything else in his position as far
You
as
mean
yards.
besides from doing the most important thing of the game, he did everything else really well,
Except for win a Super Bowl.
which is the most important thing. It's why you play the game.
The best thing about Dan Marino's career is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Isotoners.
Frank, I think you're frozen there, man. I'm not for sure if you're frozen or if you're just really pondering thoughts there. But Dan Marino was a very, very good
I have
quarterback,
to put Dan Marino
but
in there.
definitely not top
My guy.
3. Guys, do you think he even breaks a top 5 of all time?
Oh, no.
No.
I
I'll
got
take
him
Terry
at 5.
Bradshaw over him.
I got him at 5.
Wow. I got Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees probably rounding out my top 5. But I don't think I think Dan Marino is one of the most talented throwers we've ever seen. But I mean, you can't not win that big game and be considered one of the greats. I mean, you can't. Now, obviously, I don't think Eli Manning's better than him, even though Eli Manning won a Super Bowl. But
1-2.
yeah, I understand. It's 1-2. That's why they bring out a different, like Brad Johnson won one. You know what I mean? But I mean, that doesn't make them better. But at the same time, I think it separates you from like other guys that are in the conversation.
I agree, but I was a Dan Marino fan since I was born. I loved everything he did for the game in the quarterback position. He really set the bar high for guys like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Peyton Manning.
I think
All right,
Joe
guys.
Montana more set that pat, as far as that's concerned, as far as winning is concerned. I mean, if you just want to throw a bunch of yards, okay, but it's more than that.
Yeah, so let me ask you guys this. You all have Tom Brady at number 1 as the greatest of like all time. He considered the GOAT for say. But many people say he's a system quarterback. Does he have to prove himself in Tampa Bay to still be considered the GOAT after this season?
No, nobody's done more with less at the quarterback position than Tom Brady has.
Exactly.
I mean,
More
his
efficiently too.
his best receiver he had Randy Moss for a couple of years, but other than that, I mean, yeah, you got Edelman, but you put Edelman pretty much anywhere else, is he going to be the same one?
Nope.
Wes Welker, you saw what happened when he left Tom Brady. He wasn't much.
Nope.
Who else you got?
I mean, like Rob Gronkowski's pretty good, but
Yeah.
But I do agree. I mean, obviously, I'm now a bigger Tom Brady fan than I was previously. But I mean, what the guy has done for the game, and like, I don't know, his mental ability and his mental capacity to break things down and just stay calm and cool under pressure is what separates him. I mean, he's got an ice, man. He's just ice in his veins.
And then you guys had Joe Montana at the second position. I was looking it up here, and should I name the person? Yeah, Colin Cowherd doesn't even have Joe Montana in the top 10, but you guys all had him at number 2.
Cowherd. Oh,
That guy's still in the business? I mean,
I guess so.
Well, I guess if you look at regular season stats, I mean, maybe, but that'd be the only explanation for that.
I mean, I don't know. We're making lists based on what we actually feel and not based on shock value and trying to get ratings like they do at their retarded networks over there.
Yeah.
So speaking of shock value, guys, COVID-19 is ramping back up. Florida's shutting back down. Texas is on hold. Arizona's shutting down as well. My state, Indiana, says, hey, we're still going to go forward like as planned. We're having the NASCAR Indianapolis next weekend with like fans. So I'm going to ask you guys the question. This is an open discussion question here. Will COVID-19 shut down sports before the July 28th kickoff of Major League Baseball and basketball, etc.?
I think of all the sports, basketball has the best chance of going forward and playing because of the bubble that they're instituting. They're quarantining the players. There's only so many people going to be there, and it's the sport that has the least amount of players. I mean, you see what's happening in golf. They're not quarantining, and you've had 3 golfers this last couple weeks, 5 caddies, I think it is, testing positive. So that's starting to take those ranks down. You look at like Clemson, for example, they got 37 players that just tested positive for COVID. We're probably not going to see an NCAA season. I mean, it's going to be tough. You can't keep these college kids quarantined. They're college kids. They're going to go out to parties. They're going to go out drinking. That's just what they do. They're not smart. So I don't think we'll see that. I think we're going to see a delay in like the NFL and probably MLB because, again, you've got a ton more players and they're not doing a bubble. They're not quarantining these players. Yes, they're doing a lot of testing, but once you start getting into the training camps and things like that, you're going to start losing players left and right.
Sully, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I just don't. I'm kind of on the different path with this one at this point with COVID. I think a shutdown would cause more harm than good at this point. I mean, I don't think you can put a hold on the economy again and just the overall way of life again. I mean, not to sound like too class or anything, but like the people who are getting sick aren't really going to be affected by it, and they're going to be fine. It's going to be 2 weeks. It's going to be like a hamstring pull. You know what I mean? And then you're back in 2 weeks. You got to quarantine. Now, I understand that's not maybe the right mindset, but I think that's going to be the sport mindset. And these coaches are going to say, hey, look, you get sick, you're out 2 weeks. That's on you. You know what I mean? Don't let that happen to the team. They're going to treat it like an injury, kind of. I don't really think like these owners can afford to cancel. The franchises, the leagues can afford to cancel. And just overall, the country can afford to cancel. I think we need sports as a whole. I think we need something to bring us together and just something to can have some fun with and break the tension, honestly. And I just don't see any way that stops.
Yeah, I mean, I expect it to happen. It's just all going to get delayed, I feel. And what happens when, your NFL, your Tampa fan, what happens when Brady, Evans, and Godwin all go down at the same time?
There was a quote the other day that you may have to have an emergency third quarterback that prepares like a kind of away from the team. So like if your first stringer gets it, your second stringer is definitely getting it because they're in the same room together. So you may have to have a third stringer that prepares away from everything else. I mean, like I said, they're going to have to treat it like an injury, and it's going to be 2 weeks. You got to quarantine for 2 weeks and you're back. And at that point, shit happens. You know what I mean? Deal with it.
Yeah, and from what I saw that was being reported, they said that fatalities were dropping with COVID-19, so it's basically the flu. So,
well, the fatality aspect is dropping because they're testing 2,000 plus people per day. I mean, just here in like Indiana. So, I mean, obviously it is going to go down because they're testing twice as many people. So that's kind of asinine. Break Knots, what is your thoughts?
My thoughts is that sports are going to continue as planned. I know that the NBA and MLB have said They're going to test regularly, and if someone tests positive, they're going to quarantine them. But the show must go on. The show must go on, most importantly, for the corporate greed owners of these franchises. They've lost plenty of money. They're not going to be able to live without losing. They're not going to want to lose more money than they already lost. The people of America need sports more than ever. People are home. They have nothing to do. And people are dying to watch sports. I mean, every weekend you have, games from 10 years ago getting views on national networks because there's no sports. I think at this point, we've tried to battle the disease or the COVID. We've done the best we could, but at the end of the day, the show needs to go on. The economy needs to go. These sports players need to play. And most importantly, unfortunately, the owners are too greedy to walk away from the money from the TV deals, sponsorships, commercials, and etc.
Is the owners too greedy or are the players too greedy? Because we've seen baseball go back and forth since March about how much money they're going to get paid. I mean,
I think
Well, that the baseball thing, I think the issue is they agreed to something in March and then the owners backed out from it, and I think that's where that issue came from. Now that they've agreed to full prorated, so now it's, hey, let's figure this shit out. Because again, I think the players were being greedy, but to the right extent at that point. Like I said, they were agreed upon a certain amount of money that they were going to receive, and then the owners backed out of that, and I think that's why the players had the issue.
But the players should be entitled to that because
I agree. I mean, that's their money.
They're risking their lives, they're risking the livelihoods of their families because they have to travel to play these games, and they're at more of a risk than you, I, and everybody else in our society because they're going to be forced to travel every couple days.
Absolutely.
Alan, I think you had some thoughts on that.
I think with baseball, I think you've got a little bit lower risk there for the players because there's a lot more distance between the players.
True,
when you start talking about the NFL, you start talking about the NBA. I think you're mostly talking the NFL. That's where you have the most contact. You have the most players running into each other. You have the highest number of players. So when a player gets it on a team, it's not just going to be him. Even if you're testing daily, these guys are in contact with everybody. But it's not just the players. Everyone keeps thinking about the players. And the players are going to be fine. Most of these players, they get it and they don't even know they had it. They're just taking the test because they're being mandated to now, right? Yeah. They're asymptomatic. They're not showing that. But what happens when you start putting these coaches in the mix? You've got these 50, 60, 70-year-old coaches who are in better shape than most 50, 60, 70-year-olds, but you're still older. You're still at a higher risk. It's them. It's the training staffs. There's such a huge array, especially in the NFL, that I think that has the biggest possibility of something happening, of the season delaying or getting shut down for an extended period. You heard the rumors that the NFL has a plan where if they got to delay the season 5 weeks, that's fine. They're just going to take the first 5 weeks and then move it over to the back end. And so now week 1 is now week 6. They started, when that was. But with NFL, they're fine. They can start that anytime, Football's made to be played in the rain, in the snow, whatever it is. But when you start talking about baseball, if this gets delayed anymore, they'll start to run into some issues. You can't play baseball if you got the Yankees, for example, in the World Series. You're not playing a World Series in New York in January. It's not happening. The snow that you're going to run into, you can't play baseball in the snow. You can't play it in that below zero temperature and things like that. So it's going to be tricky for some of those sports, but they do have a better chance because the players aren't as, they don't come in contact with each other. It's easier to social distance. NFL is what you got to worry about.
So let me bring this up here. Some facts from the CDC. When I say facts, I use that term very loosely because I think COVID is a conspiracy. But we'll move past that point.
You're not one of those people, are you, Mike?
Hey. The numbers don't lie, but
the numbers.
You gotta put them in touch with your mom, Peasy.
Oh God, yeah, I know. These two gotta have a meeting. They can talk for hours.
But guys, but the CDC says you can be tested the day you are around somebody that has COVID, but it will not come up on a positive test of 4 to 5 days after the fact. That is the reasoning behind the 14-day quarantine. So if a NFL team is playing on Sunday afternoon, they get tested Monday morning, it's not going to show up for a positive test of 3 or 4 days after the fact, and then they could be playing Thursday night. They could be infecting the next team. So is this testing really going to really help anything at the end of the day? Alan?
I mean, right now the testing is supposedly only 60 or 70% accurate.
Right.
So even if they do get tested, it's not accurate at all.
You guys got any thoughts?
I mean, you got that incubation period, so a player can have it and be passing it around before he's even testing positive, and that's where you're going to run into these problems, and that's why I think the NBA has the biggest chance of going through, because they're quarantining the players, they're keeping them separate, they're keeping them away from, it's not necessarily what the player's going to do, but it's you've got your wife, you got your kids, are they going out of the house, and who are they interacting with? And then those people, who are they interacting with? You're getting it through them, through here. There's so many different avenues for it to come through. But when you separate the players and you keep them in that little bubble, it makes it easier to contain. So,
Any thoughts on that?
I agree. I mean, he's got me a little shook and worried over Bruce Arians, man. I'm not going to lie. Especially because Bruce be drinking and smoking like a fish. So he ain't
Me too.
Yeah, he ain't the healthiest guy, so I'm a little worried about Bruce. But I don't know. Again, I'm under the impression that it's not really going to be that big of an impact. Even if a couple of these guys test, the only way it does is if it sweeps through. If 30 guys test from a team, then like an NFL team, and the whole team's got to sit out a game.
Well, look at WWE, for example. They just had like 14 cases. 14 of their guys tested positive. Now they're scrambling.
I mean, the way the WWE handle themselves and the way the NFL handle themselves are two completely different entities. So,
You're right.
But I agree with you. I mean, like he just mentioned Clemson, granted they are college kids, but like 37 of them, I thought it was 23, but maybe it's 37, are now infected. So it's like if that happens to an NFL team and they got to forfeit a game, I don't know, that would fucking suck, and they'd have to forfeit too because of the 2-week quarantine period. I mean, we'll have to see at that point. I don't think it's going to get to that point. I actually believe in the testing. I believe that it can at least keep it, contained to within a group and maybe just 3 or 4 guys at that point. And then again, it's just dealing with it. Yeah, it would suck. Yeah, it's going to be inconvenient, and nothing's perfect this year. We just got to get what we can this year and kind of get through it. Something good is better than nothing.
So let me ask you this question, though. Let's say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get it. I mean, they've already had, 14 players test positive for you guys still holding team workouts down there in Florida on like high school fields. You guys have to forfeit 2 games because half the team has COVID, and you guys missed the playoffs because you had to forfeit because those two games that you forfeit are 2 losses. Jackson and yourself both have you guys winning the Super Bowl, but since you forfeited those 2 games, you are out. Should the
We'll even have a Super Bowl? I mean, at this rate, season, I don't know, man. The way shit's looking, it's not looking good.
No.
I mean, yeah, like I said, yeah, it would be unfortunate if it happens, and yeah, it would fucking suck, and I'd be pissed as shit. But I mean, I'd rather have football. I'd rather have the other 14 games, and if we didn't win enough games in 14 to make the fucking playoffs, then we weren't a good football team anyway, which I think we'd win anyway. For one, I think we're going probably 12-4, 13-3, so you had 2 games in there. We'll still go 11-5 and make the playoffs. I'm fine with that. But, so I don't know. Again, I think it's more if a sweeping thing happens. If 30 people get it, then it's affected. If 2 people get it, fuck it, deal with it, man.
So if your 2 people are Tom Brady and Gronk, they both got it. They sit out for 2 weeks. You're saying, where's
Sucks
Jameson, right?
Sucks to be me at that point. But at the same
At that
time,
point, you got to call Cam Newton.
yeah. What if Drew Brees gets it? You know what I mean? What if fucking, it could happen to anybody. Yeah, it would suck if it happened to Tom Brady, but it could happen to anybody just as likely, and that would be shitty. I think it would be more effective in baseball, or more, have more of an effect. They're sitting out 14 games at that point, really, or at least 10 maybe.
Right.
Oh,
So let's go ahead and go around the horn real quick before we go into our next segment that PZ is going to run. Alan, on July 28th, does the NFL start training camp? Yes or no?
Training camp, yes. I don't think they start the regular season on time.
Jameson.
I think they start training camp, but I don't think games will be played.
Solely.
Yeah, everything's A-OK.
Knox.
Training camp's going to happen. I think they're going to cut the preseason to maybe one game.
But the regular season starts on time?
Yes, I do believe
right.
so.
I don't know. I'm still nervous about this whole thing if you want to ask me, which I know you weren't going to, but I'm going to answer anyways. I'm telling you right now, it's not looking good. I got nervous, man. I'm nervous. It's spiking all over the place, and I just want to see some sports this winter.
I agree.
You're trying to see Ryan Tannehill and the boys hit the field.
That's right. Where's my Titans, baby? Let's do it.
Hey, you want to know who had more yards per game than Lamar Jackson? Ryan Tannehill.
That's right. You tell him.
You want Ryan Tannehill for your team?
No. God, no.
Okay.
God, no. I take back everything I said.
Easy, all you, son.
Oh, me. Are we going into this? Are we really doing this?
I'm really doing this?
Let's go.
Oh, God.
It's
That's
all
how
right.
you want to go into a segment.
Apparently, in a last-minute breaking news, all right, we're going to play a little game here. All right? We're going to play a game. And that game, this is real simple, all right? We're going to play you a clip of a cartoon theme. That's right. Name that cartoon. It's right on the screen. We're going to play a theme. And if you think you know what it is, raise your hand. The first person to raise their hand is going to go ahead and get a chance to answer. Mike, if they win, is it a brand new car?
It is not, but they do get a point.
Bruce, is it a...
They will get a Lamar Jackson jersey burned halfway from the dumpster because that's where it belongs.
But why we got to burn the jersey?
Wow.
Because
All
the
right.
Ravens suck.
Peasy, are you ready to
Looks
start
like
it?
King Palm smoker patch it is, P.
That's right. That's right. No smoker patch for this one. All right. Mike, you got the first clip loaded?
We're ready, son. We're ready.
All right. Are you guys ready to play Name That Cartoon?
Let's do it.
All right, Mike, play the clip. All right. Right there, Frank Knox.
That is the Rugrats.
That is right.
All right. Frank Knox, the winner of Name Your Cartoon. Mike, is that the only one?
No, we got 10 of them. We got 10 of them lined up. Ready.
Wow. All right. Frank Knox is one. Go ahead. Play clip 2.
I don't think anybody knows this one.
Well, let it play until you guys guess
Who's
it.
going to be the first one to get right here? Name that cartoon.
I'll start dropping some hints. Miss Frizzled. Alan.
Is that it?
Magic
Is that
School
it?
Bus.
That is right.
Oh.
Congratulations, Alan. We got Frank Knox with 1 and Alan with 1. Mike, you got clip 3 loaded?
Let's do it.
Are you guys ready to play Name That Cartoon? Let's do it.
Let's go.
No one understands. Mom and Dad and Vicky. Oh,
Alan.
Fairly Odd Parents.
Right.
Wow. Wow.
I would almost say Alan needs some more free time or some more non-free time on his hands, but I know all these songs too. So
Mike's got the jokes. Mike's got the jokes. Are we ready for clip number 4?
I wanna be the very best.
I don't even know what this is, but Alan does.
Pokemon.
yes.
Jesus.
Wow. Alan on a roll with 3. Frank Knox with 1. I'm sorry, but it looks like this might be a close one. It might be a close one. Mike, let's get clip 5 loaded.
Are y'all ready, kids?
Oh,
That's-
Sully.
Sully.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Here we go. Here we go. We got Alan with 3, Knox with 1, and Sully with 1. This is amazing, Mike. The race is on. Let's get clip number 6.
So this one is a movie. So we're sprinkling in
What?
some movies as well.
Whoa. What do you mean it's a movie?
It's a movie.
Is it a cartoon
Movie.
It is a cartoon movie.
That doesn't. All right. We'll let that slide. A cartoon movie. Better not be no anime.
Sully.
Toy Story.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Sully with 2.
Great movies, by the way.
Max with 1. Alan with 3. We're on clip 7. Let's hear it, Mike. Okay.
What?
Britney Spears, bro? Is that Britney Spears?
It sure does sound like Britney Spears. Doesn't
Oh,
it?
baby.
I'm going to guess that nobody's going to guess this one. It's Monster High.
What is that?
It
I don't
is.
even know what
Yeah.
it was.
Nobody knows what that is.
My kid's got a bunch of Monster High dolls.
Way to show your age. On the clip number 8. Oh, there's a tough one. I can see the contestants thinking.
Think
Probably
of
something I'd talk to, I'll tell you that. That's some weed music.
That is some weed music.
Not anymore. Now I'm kind of bugged out.
I know
Think
this
of
one.
teddy bears. A brown guy. Sully.
Reading Rainbow?
A brown. Come on, man.
I know it's not, but
No.
Sorry.
You let it play some more, Sal?
I don't know. Everyone's seeing stumped right here.
Knox.
Is it Care Bears?
It is not Care Bears.
Ah,
Think along the right path, though.
this is
It
like
is
the
Arthur.
Rastafari cartoon.
Arthur.
Arthur.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah,
watched
television,
Arthur.
Arthur. Come on now.
people watch that show?
Yes.
Who doesn't watch the show? It's a
You
better
know what
question.
that team was? Fucking bullshit.
All right, so guys, we got one more here. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Knox?
That's Doug.
It is.
Wow. Wow, I can't believe it. That was quick. Wow. So now what we have here, we got Alan with 3. Sully with 2. Knox with only
Sully has 1.
Sully's got 1. Knox,
Sully's got 1 and I got 2. Yeah.
that's it.
I got
Oh.
2.
It
Whoa.
looks like
I got 2.
it still looks like Alan's the winner.
He is, though.
Alan, who would you like to thank for winning this game?
God, baby Jesus, teenage Jesus, adult Jesus, my family. I'll go ahead and throw one out there. The Rapid Dave, my, the lesser half of Strikeout Beer. Thank you. I want to thank my kids for making me sit down and watch cartoons all the time. And for my mom not wanting to parent me and just parking me in front of that TV. I couldn't have done it without all those people. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys, that is going to be it for tonight. The first great debate. We're only going to get better each time. So, guys, join us next week. Sal, send us out.
That's right. From RTS Sports Network. We'll see you next week on the Great Debate.